Well, we got to get to Oregon State here.
It's not going great. It's not going great, Bob.
Well, they're a mess.
Yes.
And a lot of people are talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's hard to watch.
And it's going to get worse these next 2 weeks. Texas
maybe they
Tech
rise up and win 2 in a row here. No?
Yeah.
Hey, they're a long snapper away. Can you
I,
explain why it's so hard to snap long?
well, it's not snapping long. It's under the legs. Yeah, I mean, look, it is a skill, and it's harder than you think. And if you haven't done it, and then the pressure of being in a game. That being said, again, I've never seen anything quite like it. Going back to like youth football. I mean, the idea that a Division I program doesn't have another person besides their starter. I mean, the guy that was snapping was their snapper last year. It's kind of unbelievable. And even when you were snapping the ball, the damn punter dropped it. I mean, it's incredible. And there were some special teams miscues the week before. Like, I mean, I don't want to throw anyone necessarily under the bus, but that whole operation from the get-go just seems like there is no sense of themselves and they're not buttoned down at all. And now it's like when a ship is in trouble and the leaks start to happen, like it all kind of comes out at once and you're just hearing horrible things. You're hearing things from high school coaches. You're hearing things from parents. You're hearing things from parents of people that are in the program. You got people that cover the team that are not necessarily paid to be cheery, but have a vested interest in keeping Oregon State relevant and being positive, and they're being negative. I mean, when all these things are happening, you can sit there and try to circle the wagons and say that it's fake news and it's angry media and this isn't happening. You can get into semantics about, there was one about, did they pull money from kids to pay for Malik Murphy? And they're like, well, we didn't do that. We didn't pull money. Okay, you didn't take money out of a kid's pocket to give it to Malik Murphy. But promises by coaches were made to players. And then when that kid stayed or got there and they were like, sorry, we don't have that money because it went to Malik Murphy. But you're getting into these weird semantic arguments now. And when these things start to happen, that's sign of a rotten program. And I'm telling you right now, top to bottom, I don't know what you point to in that program that's positive. And then some Beaver fan comes out and always does everyone loves to be negative and no one. What do you want us to be positive about? But that's the thing is even those people right now are kind of throwing their hands up and being, guys, this is not going well. And the next 2 weeks are going to get really ugly. And when that starts to happen, you have to take a serious look at trying to cut off the infection before it kills the host.
So what makes long snapping so difficult?
Back to that. It's just one of those skills that if you haven't done it in pressure situations, you can sit there. I've done it once in a game, once on an emergency because
How'd you do?
It was fine. I only had to do it once and it wasn't the best, but it certainly wasn't the worst. I had to do it one time.
Well, if it's not the best, does that mean it's low? Did you skip it in there?
It was off. It was on an extra point and it was kind of towards the holder's body.
Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem so hard that a guy can't do it every single time. It's like
it's harder than you think. There's no excuse for what we saw on Saturday.
Right.
How about that?
Yeah, I can see it being harder than I think.
Yes.
But how is it that somebody who was the long snapper for the team last year,
I don't know,
now cannot do it?
Couldn't tell you.
It's got to be mental, right?
It has to be. It's the definition of the yips. But then again, how do you explain away the punter just dropping? I mean, just,
well, yeah. Well, it was low.
But it really wasn't.
It kind of was. I mean, he should handle it, but it wasn't perfect.
All I can tell you is, they say winning's contagious, losing's contagious. And right now, it's penalties, it's mistakes. There is nothing buttoned down. And I think that's from the top. When there's things that you can't really explain why they're happening, and like false start penalties. I think there were 6 procedural penalties on the offensive line.
Well, this is all what I was saying yesterday. Like it's clearly that Trent Bray is not head coach material.
I do not believe so, no.
He's just not. It's obvious. So what do you do? If they need a new coach, who do they go get?
I think at the end of the year, and this is where I will be fair. These first 4 weeks were going to be tough. I thought you had to at least get a split in the first 2. You didn't. And now you're going to get your ass kicked. if you can weather this storm and keep your team together, every game going forward from Houston to Washington State twice, and there's some road apples in there that aren't very good. If you can stabilize and keep your team together and show some improvement, maybe, just maybe at the end of the year, you give this another chance. But if this is indicative of what this team is, of not being buttoned down, poor decisions being made, what we saw in game 1, looking like you're not prepared, procedural penalties, and special team stuff, I think if this goes on in week 6 and 7, you let him know that he's not coming back. You find a way to buy him out. It's not that much. I want to say it's like $4.5 million. And you do what Washington State did. You do what Kansas State did. You go down and you find the guy at North Dakota State. You find the guy at South Dakota State. You find the guy at Youngstown State. And you understand that he's not going to be there for 10 years. And you don't care. You go find someone that for 2 or 3 years can be innovative, put you back on the map, and make you relevant and stop the bleeding. That's what you have to do. I think one of Oregon State's biggest problem is that Oregon State is trying to hold on as opposed to innovate. Trent Bray was given that job because it was the idea of he was willing to stick around. Like when everyone else was leaving, Trent Bray is a Beaver and he's going to stick through us through and through. That's why he got the job. And one of the, we've said it a million times, one of the worst reasons to hire someone is because they're a Michigan man or they're an Oregon State man. He's not a super well-liked guy. He's kind of abrasive. He's a tough, hard-nosed guy. He's not necessarily great with kids and in the coaching circle in the high school ranks. And right now, it's hard to be the disciplinary hard ass if you're not winning.
What's he make?
A couple $1 million. I think he's probably one of the lower paid coaches. I guess not.
$2 million.
Yeah, $2 million.
Base of 1.2.
So you can be the taskmaster hard ass and kind of abrasive and gruff if you're winning. But if you're not, then you're just unlikable.
Wait, so is his salary lower than Malik Murphy's NIL deal? Is Malik Murphy making more money to be at Oregon State than Trent Bray?
$1.5 million.
Bray got paid $2 million for the 2024 season, but his base was 1.2.
Yeah.
So you could probably corkscrew that into.
Who's the real boss
Malik
down in Corvallis?
The quarterback makes more. Make him the coach.
No.
Put him out there.
So
Give him a headset.
I just think at some point this year, if things don't radically turn, and I'm not talking in the next 2 weeks because there's nothing you're going to do. You could bring in the greatest motivational speaker in the world and the greatest special teams coach, and it's not going to help you against Texas Tech and Oregon. It's just going to get bad. To me, it starts with Houston. Can you keep your team from quitting against Houston? Because every game on your schedule after Oregon is a winnable game. But we said that about Cal, and we said it about Fresno State. And Cal whooped your ass, and Fresno State shouldn't have beat you. And yet you found a way to beat yourself. So to me, weather the storm and see what happens in a couple weeks when you play Houston.
You got a couple things working for you against Texas Tech. One is Texas Tech plays at Utah next week.
Look ahead game.
And two, Texas Tech has been taking their, they've scored 62 points in each of their first 2 games.
Yes.
But those were such blowouts that they kind of called off the dogs.
Yeah.
So Oregon State, I don't know. They could backdoor cover this or feel better about the loss because Texas Tech kind of is like, whatever, we're going to move on to Utah. And then Murphy's good enough that, they could get a couple late scores and it may not look so bad. Yeah. But, I mean, they're certainly not, they shouldn't win there. And, of course, then it's Oregon, which, by the way, noon kick, they said. Noon.
And if you're Trent Bray, don't do the whole rivalry thing. Just shut up. Just
that game's in Eugene. Well, yeah, he
swallow
can't.
the pride.
He ain't gonna. He's not that stupid, is he?
I hope.
You hope not.
Well, yeah, I hope not.
Yeah.
Just